Out of this room, I was a little confused what to do. One of is enjoy overall personality development is your mandatory requirement. Academically, don't do great thing. That is one option always available. Another option is having coming to this campus, better to put some benchmark, and that is the training department. Generally, very rarely we get the awards, and better to put a benchmark. And with that confusion, I walked out of this room. Then when I reached my room in DS hostel, room number 134, I was very clear I should go out with the best student award. And then you have to put a lot of effort. And dear friends, it's a great opportunity for all of you to be in this great institute as a student. Today you are only a student. You may not be knowing the value of you, the capability of you, and the country's future is purely in your hand. And when we talk about a developed nation status, it is in your hand again. And coming to the distinguished personalities, most respected Indrajit Chakraborty, the chairperson of Kalpana Chawala Space Technology Cell, Devali Chakraborty, Santanu Dara, Professor Soman Das, Professor Gaudam, Professor Adyam Amy from Training Department, my friend Mr. Karthikeyan, and distinguished professors, and if I am not really any names, it is not intentional, and those who are from Training Department, my close friends, and most importantly, my dear young friends. Very, very good evening to all of you. I really feel so happy to be standing in front of you on this inaugural function of this AstroTech Festival 2023. You know, when you look at the Kalpana Chawala Space Technology Cell, the entire activity was started, if I am correct, it was in the year 1998, that is almost 25 years back. It started, and it has grown to greater and greater heights. And now, in the year 2004, the name was changed to honor Kalpana Chawala from Space Technology Cell. It was changed as Kalpana Chawala Space Technology Cell. He strong himself at that point of time. He strong himself. Advanced space technology can be utilized for the common man. That was the vision on which the program was initiated. And to bring the advanced space technology to the common man, what we need is, there are three elements of it. One is, you need satellites of different classes, different types, which you have to design, realize, and manufacture. And to place the satellites in the orbit, we need launch vehicles. And that is the second aspect what is required. Third thing is, from the satellite, different types of data will come. For example, the photographs from the satellite simply we cannot decipher. If you see the photograph, it will look in a different form, probably someone should be knowing, and that has to be deciphered. And if it takes a photograph of forest, you have to understand really what it is, it has to be deciphered. And communication, if there is a communication, you need ground segment. Navigation, you need ground segment. So you need basically ground segments. So these three things were with the vision. Fortunately, the development started concurrently. Now, the space program, even though 1962 it was initiated, it was in the year 1963, November 21st. We launched a rocket from Indian soil, Cuba, in Rwanda. And this was the place from where this activity started. Basically, it was a fisherman village, and there was a church building, nothing was there. And the activities were started, space activities were started in the church building. Today we have converted that as a museum. If you come here, you will be enjoying to see that beautiful museum. And from there, it started 1963, November 21st, we had a rocket launch. And the rocket was donated by Americans. For that, the payload, the sodium vapor payload was given by French team, and entire instrumentation came from other countries. Our people just participated along with them and we launched. And it was in the year 1967 we started by the time we started the indigenous development, and we had a 7 kg rocket going to a height of 9.8. Truly, that is the beginning of, in my opinion, that is the beginning of the Indian space program per se. 20th November 1967. Now, for 55 years, we have grown to greater and greater heights. At that point of time, to be frank, we were not knowing what is spacecraft, what is a launch vehicle, what are all things involved. Probably some of us know the T-body rocket. And the difference between the Sivagasi T-body rocket and launch vehicle is small difference only. That T-body rocket, if you fire, it will go wherever it wants, but the launch vehicle or our rocket should go wherever we want. That is the only difference. But to make that difference, one has to work a lot. And from the humble beginning, today, when you look at the space program, we have grown enormously. To our credit, 3,528 sounding rockets of different types, taking to different altitudes, starting from 100 kilometers to something around 500 kilometers, we have launched from Indian soil. Then comes to launch vehicles. 6 generations of launch vehicles are conceived, designed, realized, and accomplished. The first launch vehicle is the SLV-3. The project director is none other than the people president, APJ Abdul Kalam. And it was in the year 1980, July 18, 1980. A 40 kg spacecraft was placed in a low Earth orbit of 400 kilometers or so. From that humble beginning, we have moved to the next launch vehicle, ASLV, capable of placing 150 kg. We had 2 setbacks, and we have landed in a big bay. And then we moved to the PSLV. PSLV today, you all know, it is a workhorse for India, and I am going to address that little later. And the first 2 launch vehicles were experimental base, SLV, and the ASLV was experimental base. The PSLV onwards it is operational vehicles. And PSLV capability is something around 1100 kg to GTO, geo transfer orbit. And we started with 800 kg to polar orbit, and today the capability is almost doubled. It is not the one what was realized at that point of time. Then moved to the GSLV, which is the capability is almost 2 times of the PSLV, capable of 2200 kg to geo transfer orbit. Geo transfer orbit is nothing but from the Earth 170 km or 200 km to 36,500 km orbit. Then comes to the GSLV Mark III, that is the Bahubali rocket we call it, LPSC rocket. And just I will give you a comparison of the first SLV-3 to LPSC. SLV-3, the lift-off mass is 17 ton. LPSC is 642 ton today. That is the problem. And SLV-3, the capability is just 40 kg to place low Earth orbit. LPSC is something around 8,700 kg in the low Earth orbit. You see the type of phenomenal growth what has happened. And then we have also predicted with a small satellite launch vehicle placing 500 kg in the low Earth orbit. Because this can be realized in a very short time. I will come back to that later. And if you see the launch vehicle, the launch vehicle is a development, is an amalgamation of all branches of engineering: mechanical, chemical, cryogenics, civil, computer science. You take any department here, every department has got a role on that. And all branches of science, physics, chemistry, today, biology, biotech, everything is inside. And coming to the next aspect of satellite, it was in the year 1975 we built the first satellite called Aryabhatta satellite. And Aryabhatta satellite purely it was a technology support given by Russians. And a beautiful book written by Professor Rao, who is the first project director of the satellite program, the Aryabhatta satellite. He has written India Becoming a Space Power. I have read the book 3-4 times to understand what is our contribution, what is it we got the technology from outside. Almost I would say 75 to 80% we got from outside. And we have landed trying to understand and integrate, and we built the satellite in 1975. And the satellite was launched by Russian launching. From that humble beginning, 1980 we had a 40 kg satellite placed by our own launch vehicle, and we have moved a long way. Today, we have built varieties of satellites for Earth observation, telecommunication, navigation, and scientific application. 125 satellites have been built in this country, and we have launched to the space. And from 40 kg in 1982, the heaviest satellite built is around 6,000 kg. The mass is given here, 5,854 kg is the heaviest satellite built in this country. Now coming to the application. Now yes, satellites are there, large vehicles are there, we have launched. What we have done to the common man of this country? And really, to understand the benefit of satellite technology, what is required is switch off all the satellites for 2 hours evening 7 to 9. Then you will understand what it is doing. I will just quickly go through maybe 1 or 2 minutes what is the benefit. Really to talk about the application, what it is done, we need 1 full day to explain. Now take the Earth observation satellite in the area of food security. You know, India is having almost 46% land is agricultural land, and when we manufacture food, before harvesting, other countries are monitoring how much we are going to produce. You know why they are monitoring? To understand what is the yield, how much India is going to export, how much India is having shortage, if it is shortage, how much cost they have to increase, so that they will get benefit. This is what is the research elsewhere is happening. And today we are understanding the food forecasting, crop forecasting, and we understand, because it is essential data for policy planners and policy makers. And take water security. You know, there was a time, if somebody is digging, actually West Bengal is not that bad place. Your water source is very good. And there are places you go to Rajasthan, if somebody dig a well and to get water, it is a great thing. Explain that you will not get success. And today, with the satellite data, the success rate of world is something around 92 to 98% is the success rate. Kerosene time it used to be less than 60% without satellite data. So we have come a long way. And coming to land water resources, and it's doing lot of things. And ocean application, orthography, forest cover mapping, potential fishing zone. Let me just address the potential fishing zone as an example. You know, India is having something around 7,500 kilometers of coastal area, and lot of our friends are involved in the fishing activities. And if somebody probably goes, my native place is only 2 kilometers from the seashore, so I can understand if somebody goes and comes after 2 days with empty hand, what is their feeling, ill feeling, and what is the type of loss, I can understand. How many of you can understand? Probably you have to visualize. And if deep fishing, somebody is going, spending huge energy and coming back with empty hand, you understand what is the type of loss. Today, through the satellite data, we inform the people where is the potential fishery zone, and they go and catch and come back. You know what is the profit through that per year? 34,000 crore is the estimated profit only through that, against ISRO budget of 14,000 crore per year. That is the type of benefit that is So you take the satellite application in the area of TV broadcasting. Today's generation, I think your age is average age group is 20, 23. You will not understand, you don't know what is the type of life you have. When I completed my MTech and landed back in my native place, you know, in Tamil, or any channel for that matter, any regional language, in Tamil there was only one program, weekly one program called Oli Moli. Friday evening 8:15, 5 Tamil songs will be sold. And I was working in Trivandrum, 5 o'clock complete office, somehow get a bus to Nagarkoil, rush to my house to see that 5 songs. Because if you miss, now next Friday only you can see 5 songs. And from that arena, today, I don't know how the revolution has been made. YouTube, this channel, that channel, hundreds of channels, and television broadcasting Revolution has been done. Now, coming to the satellite telecommunication. Can you tell who are not having own mobile? Can you raise your hand? Who are not having mobile phone? Oh my God, I am so happy that everybody is having mobile phone. Excellent. You know, after my MTech, 89 I completed MTech, 93 I was sent to Russia for some government activities. I was in Russia for 9 months. Can you guess how many times, I am not from that undeveloped district, I am from Kanyakumari district, which is considered to be educated district. Can you guess how many times I have talked with my parents or telephone connection? Any guess? 2 times? 5 times? It is 0. I did not talk to any time because at 5 km radius there was no telephone connection. If I have to talk, my parents have to come to 20-30 kilometers, they have to travel, they have to wait for a trunk call, and then, you know, international calls are not like this. I will tell you one simple example which you will understand. I am going to Russia. My father from Narayanan came to Toronto, which is 170 kilometers away, and he sent me off, and I was going by flight, aircraft. When we reached Bombay, the pilot is not landing the aircraft, he is going on, rotating. We were not knowing, and he is not announcing anything. And as a young boy, we were enjoying sitting in the aircraft for more time. If my memory is correct, that was my second air travel. I was enjoying without knowing what is happening. At one point after one announcement came, no more fear, we are going to land. This is announcement. Oh, then fine, landed. Immediately after landing, we are all taken to a room and simply, they told don't go anywhere, simply taken and we are locked to the room. We are not knowing what happened, why they are doing this. When we are in the room only we understood TV, so many blasts is happening and they are telling it is in the next building. And that was the day when Bombay serial blast happened. And my father, when he went back to my native place, he thought he has lost his son. Just I was traveling, that is the precisely same time for serial blast. And then we are not aware. We have seen Bombay serial blast. Yesterday morning we went and I wrote a letter. After 11 days he received the letter. Then only he understood that okay, I have reached safe. From that arena, today, you know, before coming here, I have to make a call to my wife, I am going. When I was here, to be frank, I was trying to call her, but I could not succeed, telling that I am going to give her talk. And just before coming here, I was informed my classmate who is in New Jersey. Yes, right now I am going to the Netaji auditorium. And not only that, when you make a call, if only second, if you are not getting the connection abroad, we are so much tensed. What is happening? What is the 20 second only? And that is the type of thing you all have mobile connectivity. And thanks to the satellite communication revolution. And coming to the education, you know, there was a time, if you book a train ticket, we don't know when the train will come. You go to the railway station, they will say after 8 hours. And 8 hours means night you have to sit there. After some time, all of a sudden the message becomes 12 hours. Then you come back. This is the drama which was going on. But today, it is happening like that. We have connected 2,800 trains on real-time basis, and we are going to connect entire train on real-time tracking basis. It is going to be done. And this is the case with vehicle tracking and whatnot. And we are having navigation satellite to get accuracy of 10 meters accuracy. And you know, I was studying in a school where 50% of my classmates were from CSOE. And one day, the second rank holder, who is a guy, the monthly test paper came. Generally, our gap used to be only 10%. All of a sudden, the gap was something around 40 marks less. And we were not exactly understanding what went wrong. He lost 2 of her brothers who went for fishing. And there was no message whether they are caught by Sri Lanka or whether they are no or nothing. Here, our institution, we had one old jeep. And the rocket parts were built and transported in bicycle, not new bicycle, old bicycle. That's what is the photo what you are seeing. And it was in the year 1975 when we built the first satellite. It was moved for experiment in Bangalore by Birla. And that is the place what we started. And 1967, when we had the first tiny rocket, you see, we are in the center. 1961, Yuri Gagarin has gone and come back. 1947, when we were trying to get the independence, people in different orbit. 1961, Yuri Gagarin has gone and come back in a rocket of 300 plus ton capacity. And 1969, I was in the first standard, sitting on the first floor, along with 20 of my classmates. Actually, no desk, no bench, nothing. Only on the floor we were sitting. And we were one day all of us we were enjoying, because no class, teachers were not teaching. And they were going here and there with one small radio, walking here and there. We were not going, we were enjoying. Let these guys go wherever they want. And all of a sudden our teachers came and told, yes, man has landed on the moon, the confirmation has come, 1969. That time, India just, not even we were into the play school on the space program, we were developing a 7 kg rocket. From that humble beginning, today you please look at the single slide. It shows 3,528 sounding rockets we have launched, 6 generations of launch vehicle, 91 launch vehicles we have launched from Indian soil, and 125 satellites. Why 125 satellites of our country? 431 satellites of 34 other countries are launched from Indian side using Indian launch. In the application, if you switch off the TV, in so many houses, not one TV, if you switch off the satellites, there are houses, there are 3-4 TVs. For son one TV, daughter another TV, wife one TV, husband another TV. Every TV boxes will be thrown out like a waste box. And no 8 TV box. And our neighbors will misbehave. And no television, no telecommunication, what not, everything comes to a standstill. That is the place what we stand today. So much of application. And so much of experimental missions we have carried out. Now coming to the PSLV, we have till today launched 59 launch vehicles of PSLV. Out of that, 57 are successful. That shows the reliability of the space. And wherever we go, nowadays our students are asking one fantastic question. Okay, you are telling so much achievements, please tell when you will become number one. Because first rank is not an easy commodity, and when you are becoming number one. And very easy to ask that question, but only one has to see this slide where we started with Bullaka and this one, and we have to talk about number one position. But doesn't matter. Today, lot of places we are number one. Using the PSLV, using single rocket, it was Russia which has launched 37 satellites before us in a single go. We decided to become a world leader. We will launch more than 100 satellites, and we launched 104 satellites successfully and made history in the world. And till today, so many experiments are done, and the capability of the vehicle is almost doubled. And coming to the next vehicle, the GSLV. For the GSLV, along with other propulsion stages, the cryogenic propulsion stage is another important requirement. Upper stage, where we use liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen, which is extremely low temperature. Probably the cryogenic people and mechanical people and chemical people, little bit understand. Others, I want to give you a feel of what is the temperature we are handling. We use hydrogen will become liquid at minus 253 degrees centigrade, oxygen minus 183 degrees centigrade. You know what is minus 253 degrees centigrade? Water from 30 degrees, if you increase the temperature another 70 degrees, it will boil at 100 degrees centigrade. 70 degrees delta, you put hand inside, you will understand what is the 70 degree difference. Now, from the temperature almost 283 degrees, we have to go down. And it's a very complex thing. My professor Hardy used to tell one thing. You know, producing hydrogen oxygen is very difficult, and if you have to store, thermos flask, where you keep that hot water. How much time it keeps in the hot condition? You keep coffee, maybe 24 hours, 25 hours. And we are having an insulation system to store hydrogen. If such an insulation is used in the thermos flask, you can serve coffee for your granddaughter's wedding. That is the type of insulation what is required. Because people used to say the conductivity of the insulation is 10 power minus 6 watt per meter Kelvin, again 20 watt per meter Kelvin of stainless steel. if you do a simple calculation, you will understand the type of heat loss and how much time it will stay. That is the type of thing one has to develop. Now, you know, liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen, that is the best performance propulsion system. And other than India, only 5 more countries are having. And when we started the program, we were looking other countries to support. But finally, initially, they were getting the support from Russia, not in the design and analysis, only in manufacturing area. But finally, they backed out due to geopolitical reasons. And we started the game, and we took almost 20 years. And initially, we were not understanding what the game is. And 20 years it took. Finally, we succeeded, and India became one among 6 countries to have the complex high-performance cryogenic propulsion stage. Coming to the next vehicle, the GSLV Mark III, it is a game changer by itself. There are 2 solid propulsion systems, each having 207 ton propellant loading, and there is a core stage with 114 ton propellant loading. Just orbital stage, upper stage is a cryogenic stage. You know, the simple difference between a rocket and a car is simple. Car also is having engine, rocket is also having engine only. And the requirement is very, very simple. The car engine goes with a speed of 100 km/h maximum Indian road. And rocket to place a satellite in the orbit, it has to give you a velocity of 27,000 km/h to 37,000 km/s. So this one, Chandrayaan 3 is injected with 37,000 km/h. So that is the small difference what it has to be met. Now you all know, you can calculate take the Maruti car or any conventional car, per second what is the air fuel consumption. Any guess? Can you tell what is the number, typical number? I am interested in it. Huh? That is correct. The consumption of petrol plus air together. You do that simple calculation, you will come to a number of something around 3.5 to 4 grams per second. And the Mark III rocket, when it lifts off, we consume 4,000 kg per second against 4 grams per second of that car fuel. That is the difference. Now coming to the cryogenic stage, the upper stage development. Each development has its own challenge. If I explain, that itself will take 1 hour. This is a purely our indigenous effort. We started drawing using our own hand. In fact, the first presentation material is in my cupboard, which was drawn by simple hand sketches. And the project was approved 2002-2017. We went ahead with a successful launch, but I want to tell dear friends, when we went for the launch, we had carried out totally 199 experiments and 200 was the launch. Out of 199, except one, everything was successful, which came because of the strong understanding in the education system that came. And the launch was a successful. And here we have made world history. After realizing the subsystems, once you integrate the engine, from the engine integration to the flight, the minimum time taken by any other country is 42 months, and people have taken up to 15 years, 180 months. 42 to 180 months. We set a target of 24 months. Setting the target is very, very easy. Setting a target of getting 100 out of 100 in numerical mathematics is very easy, but the getting you have to do lot of effort. Today, to our credit, when we set the target, I want to tell you one thing. We have set a target, and I was presenting in the International Astronautical Federation conference. I was opening this, right? 24 months we are going to accomplish with 3 hardware. Generally, people make 15 hardware before the first flight. And myself and my colleague, who is the chief of the Russian space program, was sitting. He was asking, if you don't mind, I want to ask one question. You should not get hurt. I said, no problem, please ask. He asked a question. You are in this development game. Do you know what is happening elsewhere in the world? First question. I thought yes. He asked, yes, can you explain how many engines you realize, how much time we have taken? I answered. Next question was, Narayanan, are you joking in this forum? Have you understood this is the type of time frame required, this is the type of hardware required? 24 months you are telling me 3 hardware, are you joking? This is the thing asked. How to answer this question? I answered, Next year we will come back with successful flight data that only can answer your question. And it's reality. 28 months we successfully accomplished the mission with 3 hard work, and we are very proud to work with us, and we are made an outstanding mission. And now this particular photograph what you are seeing is a small photograph here. This is nothing but the 1:1 stage, which is up to around 15 meter height, 4 meter diameter. You can visualize it. That is the stage where we have something around 5,000 kg of hydrogen. You know, the hydrogen is a notorious propellant. If you handle properly, it will burn. If you don't handle, it will explode. If it explodes, 20 kilometers radius, nobody can survive. Generally, people are realizing this. We have to do a test before flight, and people do number of experiments. They put some 20 kg hydrogen, understand what is happening, and 200 kg hydrogen. All these things are done. And generally, people take after realizing this 10 months to do the test. And we have taken in the previous Mark II program 18 months to do the test. I was the project director. I was also the development chief. We were thinking how to bring some history to this country. And if you do conventionally, it will take 18 months. We set a target. Can you guess against the 10 months of other people? Can you guess what is the type of target we set? Any guess? Yes, sir. Great things. Huh? 3 months? We set a target of 1 month. And no experiments. No experiment means everything was simulated, theoretically studied, perfectly understood, and I believe the team, top management of Kiran Kumar sir, he was the chairman, he authorized, he told, project director, you are the decision maker, whatever you are telling, I am going to accept, others are going to only advise, and a lot of opposition in the organization was there to authorize the test. Finally, it is history today, we have successfully accomplished in 34 days, which no country in the world has done, and no country in the world is doing. And finally, it is history. You know, recently we have accomplished 2, totally with the Mark III. We have accomplished a lot of missions, 7 missions, including Chandrayaan 3. Let us address a little bit on those things. Recently, we have accomplished 2 commercial missions. I think you would have read in the newspaper. India, onward, India 1 each. Mission 36 satellites has been placed. 36 satellites has been placed in, not in a single place. You can just see this one. It has been put in multiple places, multiple orientations. The satellite has been placed. We used to tell one thing. It is nothing but our villages, you know, the buses are there. And bus travel, it goes every stop and drop the people, go to this place, drop and go. And that is the way this has to be done. And we are thinking how to do this mission. And the creative community of ISRO, where a lot of people from IIT Kharagpur is also there. We came with a unique proposal. After this, earlier we used to put only 1 satellite. After that, inside the hydrogen and oxygen tank, lot of ducted fuel and oxidizer gases are there, waste are there. We will use those things and accomplish the second portion of doing this game. And the management was not totally convinced in the first review, and finally we convinced the management. And today, dear friends, it is history. The unique mission management is done by India, and we have successfully accomplished 2 commercial missions. Perfect. And we have made good. Coming to the next important mission, scientific mission, one of the missions. The Chandrayaan 1 mission. We have made 2 world records. Number 1, in this mission, we put our tricolor on the moon, and we have registered land for you and your generations. We have registered by putting the tricolor on the moon. You know, if you don't go there, after some time, nothing will be given to us, and we have registered. Second thing is, registering in our own village itself from land is very difficult. I don't know why you are not that much happy. I am not here. And registering land in moon is that difficult. We have done that for you and for your generation. And coming to the second thing, India is the only country and the first country which have found water molecule on the moon surface and made all Indians proud. Next mission, the Mars orbiter mission, going to red planet. You know, we have to travel almost 68 crore kilometers, almost 295 days we have to travel and go and get it captured. And I used to tell our students, if you do it is simple trigonometry calculation. You do a calculation with 0.01, 0.02 degree error. If you calculate 68 crore kilometers when you travel, the required place versus achieved place, where you will reach, you will not reach Mars, you will reach some other place. And precisely just be directed, just go. And the Indians have done this 295 days, sleepless nights, and you have taken perfectly, and you have captured the Mars orbit, you have captured. And dear friends, India is the first country which has achieved this success in the first attempt. No other developed nation has done in the first attempt. Yes, other developed countries have done, but not in the first attempt, after facing multiple failures. And Indians have done in the first attempt. Not only accomplished in the first attempt, you know, to go to that place, you have spent some money. And if you calculate per kilometer what is the type of expenditure, I don't know how many of you travel in auto and buses, I don't know. I used to then and there enjoy, I get down from my office car, get into office, to the city bus, sometimes auto and enjoy. The auto fare, per kilometer auto fare is more than, the fare spent here per kilometer is lower than the auto fare per kilometer. That is the low cost return what you have accomplished. And the entire world, after the success, I also happen to be in Canada for the IIF. Everybody is asking how you did this, how you accomplished this with such a low cost. And then only we understood, oh, we have done it so low cost. And that is the type of mission what is done. Coming to Chandrayaan 2 mission, you all may be knowing that we are not accomplished the mission. Yes, it is true. But this mission had multiple objectives. First objective was the Mark III, which was indigenously developed. We are supposed to launch 4,000 kg satellite to the GQ. Up to the Chandrayaan 2 mission, we had accomplished only 3,500 kg. So first time we have to demonstrate more than 4,000 kg. One of the objectives. Second objective is you have to take from Earth surface, you have to take to moon surface, and you have to get it captured. And through multiple mission managements. You can see, once you inject into the orbit, you have to do a lot of maneuvering because our capability is not like international capability. With available resources, we have to do multiple maneuvers, we have to capture. And there was a system called orbiter. And orbiter system was to be placed. Then we have to land. Out of these three objectives, two objectives were perfectly done. And landing up to 2.1 kilometers, things were going perfectly well. Beyond that, we lost control and we lost the mission. And here, the accomplishment is, for the first time, the Mark III capability was demonstrated to the design capability. And we are having an orbiter system. Orbiter system we designed for 1 year lifetime. And because of the smart mission management, what was done, we are having lot of fuel, and the life is today 7 years is the life. That is the history what we have made. Against 1 year, 7 years is the life. And it is having a multiple payloads. One of the payloads is called on-orbit high resolution camera, which is 30 centimeter resolution. And I have seen the photograph taken by our mission versus other developed countries. The developed countries are nowhere near to our system. Ours is the best camera what is having in the moon orbit. That is part of the mission. Yes, 2.1 kilometers we lost. There was a national committee constituted with 9 members, and the target given is we have to understand satellites on around 30 systems, each system how it has performed, and for the Chandrayaan 3 what type of improvements we have to do, and we have to thoroughly analyze. The system consists of, I will tell you, the multidisciplinary game. There is 1.5 lakh line software. Whether the software is written properly, qualified properly, let's understand. There is a control guidance system. Those who are in the control system, they will be knowing the argument path has to go. And the LPM 3 we defined that it has to place with injecting 37,000 km per hour velocity it has to act and inject in a place of 170 km by 36,500 km. In 36,500 km, the elliptical orbit with a dispersal permission is plus minus 500 km. Dear friends, I want to tell you have achieved within a accuracy of 9 km. You have achieved. It is a world-class record. With such a precision, you have injected. You can see the number 36,500 or 36,490.75. And the propulsion team, including the cryogenic team, has done excellent job. And you can see the lift-off video.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Plus 5 seconds.
Lift-off normal, clear tracking.
And it's a beautiful sight to see the lift-off. But only when we sit in front of the console, you can understand the type of anxiety, type of tension, type of BP rise. Even though we have whatever the finally indirected with us to work, and now you can see the separation of the solid motors. And actually, most of system has to work in an integrated way. Then only you can accomplish a mission. And this is the satellite separation. And beautifully it was separated and put in the right place. I think we will go to the next slide. And I want to tell you, I also happen to be the chairperson of the Space Transportation Project Management Council, which is responsible for all the launch vehicles in the country. And when we reviewed this launch vehicle was supposed to be ready only this December, then we put a management tactics and fast track way we realized for that launch. And it is not that simple to realize all the system, and it was done. And coming to the satellite, there are so many systems as I explained, and the size you can see 4 meter by 4 meter by 6 meter height, as you can visualize. And
has reduced the beam.
this is a propulsion module which is taking to moon surface, and it's a lander module which all the power systems, all the systems to land. And the second step in the Chandrayaan 3 is from the elliptical orbit of 36,500 km by 170, we have to take it to almost 3,70,000 km to moon's orbit, and we have to capture it perfectly and reduce the orbit size. This is the second step. For that, the propulsion system was developed, realized by us, and using that 10,767.27 seconds we operated the engines almost 13 times, and it was perfectly done the second step. And coming to the third step. Third step is the final step. The Chandrayaan 3 rover was rotating with a speed of 6,077 km per hour, which is 8 times of the aircraft velocity. From that, in a period of 19 minutes, we have to bring down the velocities to 0 by traveling almost 750 km, and we have to land. And so much work was done to do this. The propulsion system, inertial system, camera system, landing, you cannot land anywhere, because if you see the moon surface, there is rock, there is valley, and you have to understand taking cameras, and you have to real time take the photographs, realize precisely you have to land. And this was done perfectly. And Indians are predicted for discovering 0. That day, on 23rd Tube 23rd August 23, by making 3 parameters simultaneously 0, India made another history by landing in the south pole of moon for the first time, the first nation to do so, and our flag today is flying higher than any other country's flag. And the type of accuracy at which it was landed,
From space,
the type of accuracy at which it was landed. We are traveling 750 km, and we can land within a corner of 4 km by 2.4 km. We landed within 370 meters. We landed. And one parameter I will tell you, then you can understand the precision at which it is accomplished. To do this job, we have calculated what is the propellant required. And we simulated thousands of simulations. We declared 9,053.5 kg is the propellant requirement. After carrying out 900 or 1000 simulations. And you know how much we have consumed? You calculate the petrol consumption from here to Calcutta, a prairie, and finally you find out how much is consumed. What will be the type of error? Here in 9,500 kg, the difference was only 100 grams of the difference. This is the precision at which the mission was attained. 953.5 kg is the prediction, 953.4 kg is the number what was achieved. I think this video I will skip at the end. If you are interested, I will come back to the video.
Injection to lunar orbit acquisition.
Or you want to see the video right now? I think I will go to 3 minutes quickly.
Propulsion module of Chandrayaan 3 will carry lander module up to approximately 100 by 100 kilometers lunar polar orbit. Subsequently, lander module will get separated from propulsion module at 6 days before landing. The new onboard functional verification strategy is adopted to assess the health and functional characterization of landing sensors and propulsion system during these 6 days. Day. Powered descent starts at appropriate time on day 7. Before the start of powered descent phase, orbit determination activity will be continuously carried out by utilizing JPL, ESA, ISRO ground stations and orbit models. The accurate orbit determination estimation is very essential to determine precise initial conditions of lander-powered descent, which is one of the critical requirements to achieve safe and soft landing. Powered descent phase consists of 4 subphases, namely rough braking phase (RB), attitude hold phase (AH), fine braking phase (FB), terminal descent phase (TD), which is similar like Chandrayaan 2, except for phase durations and target milestones. All sensor electronics will be in on condition prior to start of powered descent phase. However, absolute sensors will be operated at the respective phases as per the powered descent plan. The filter will be updated by absolute sensors, and the filter, which in turn will be updating the inertial and local navigation at discrete intervals as per the descent plan. Inertial sensor will always be in closed loop with guidance and control throughout the descent phase. Rough braking phase will start from a nominal altitude of approximately 30 kilometers with orbital velocity of approximately 1.68 km per second. A second order polynomial closed loop guidance law with pure inertial navigation is planned for this phase. No absolute sensor will be taken in loop during this phase. All 4 liquid engines will be operated at higher throttling level to reduce the horizontal velocity. Maximum downrange will be covered during this phase. Total duration of this phase will be approximately 690 seconds with a downrange of 713.5 kilometers. At the end of this phase, lander will be at an altitude of 7.4 kilometers and its attitude will have 50-degree pitch angle with respect to vertical. The expected vertical velocity and horizontal velocity at the end of rough braking is 61 meters per second and 358 meters per second respectively. At this moment, lander will be approximately 32 kilometers away from targeted landing site. Also, a constant check on vertical velocity will start from an altitude of 18 kilometers onwards. In case of any dispersion beyond design limits, emergency landing will be triggered, which will invoke salvage guidance algorithm. Rough braking phase is followed by attitude hold phase, which is planned for a nominal duration of 10 seconds. Guidance law in this phase runs in open loop. with pure inertial navigation to decouple attitude control from guidance, and maintains a constant 50-degree pitch angle throughout the phase for both altimeters to look at target direction. Both altimeters, Kara and LASA, will be operated in this phase, and altitude data will be taken into navigation filter. These sensors update will be enabled to the filter from 10 km altitude. At the end of this phase, navigation filter will update inertial navigation with altitude information. Altitude of lander is expected to be approximately 6.88 kilometers. Lander module will be 28.5 kilometers away from planned landing site. Guidance bound check will be done to see if given landing site is reachable or not. In case if it is reachable, lander will be targeted to the designated landing site. If not reachable, then real-time retargeting will be invoked to reach neighboring landing site. If the guidance states are much beyond the real-time retargeting limits, emergency landing will be invoked. During this process, if there is a valid altimeter update, then the lander will be targeted to an altitude of 800 meters. And in case there is no valid altimeter update from both the sensors, the targeted altitude will be increased to 1300 meters to cater for inertial navigation dispersion. A third-order polynomial closed-loop guidance law is planned for this phase, with LIRAD-propagated inertial navigation. In case if there was no valid altimeter update in the previous phase, then one more update from filter, LASA altimeter data will be planned at 35 seconds from start of this phase. LDV will provide information about 3-axis velocity with respect to moon surface, from an altitude of 2.5 kilometers and below. Navigation filter will run in background and will get update from LDV. Inertial velocity will get corrected by update from filter to navigation at time to go of 39 seconds. At the end of this phase, lander module will be vertically above targeted landing site at an altitude of 800 or 1300 meters from local surface with zero velocities. Emergency landing logic will continuously monitor vertical velocity, and salvage guidance will be invoked if dispersion goes beyond limit. Inertial navigation will be terminated and local navigation will be initiated to perform relative navigation with respect to local surface. Terminal descent will start from an altitude of 800 meters or 1300 meters. If all the requirements are met, two opposite liquid engines, 1 and 3, will be shut off at the start of this phase. Lander module will hover above landing site for 12 seconds using PV guidance. LDV and Kara will be taken in loop to update height and velocity information to navigation filter. LASA and LHVC will operate in background as a redundant sensor to Kara and LDV. At the end of hover, navigation filter will update navigation. Subsequently, lander module will descend vertically up to 150 meter local altitude using third-order polynomial guidance law. During this phase, the local navigation states will be updated at discrete intervals by filter. At 150 meters, lander module will again hover for 22 seconds using PV guidance. Kara and LDV will be taken in loop to update height and velocity information to navigation filter. During this time, hazard detection camera LHDAC operation will be carried out to find safest location within 150 meter downrange for landing. The first preference will be given to the location just below lander, if it is safe. In this case, lander module will vertically descend to 10 meters above landing site. In case LHDAC finds different safe location, lander module will be retargeted above new landing site at an altitude of 60 meters with zero velocity. In retargeting phase, no absolute sensor update will be taken into the loop. From 60 meters, lander module will vertically descend to 10 meter altitude using third-order polynomial guidance. During this phase, the local navigation states will be updated at discrete intervals by filter. LDV will stop updating below 30 meter and CARA will stop updating below 10 meter altitude. Filter will not be updating using any absolute sensor below 10 meters altitude. Tube will approach the lunar surface with constant velocity of 1 meter per second. At touchdown, contacts with sensors in lander leg will sense the touchdown, and based on it, NGC will command to shut off all three.
That was the beautiful landing, and we have landed the space and made India as a proud nation. Now, not only that, after landing, the rover, which was brought out very safely, and that was a scene what has to be seen, because when it is coming out, first the solar panel has to be deployed and it has to generate electricity. Really, by seeing that when the electricity was produced, the cells were becoming like a golden color, and it came out very, very perfectly. And it was perfect movement of the lander. It came out as planned, moved almost 100 meters on the moon surface, and it has done enough experiments. I think I will not dwell much on that. Now, this was the mission objective, and we have to do a couple of experiments. Now, we decided one more thing. Having landed as expected, you know, India is not a that rich country to spend a lot of money. We planned the unplanned activity, because in future, once you land, if you have to come back, if you are going for a manned program or a sample return, this has to once again restart, you have to take and you have to come back. We planned to carry out that experiment. There were a lot of different opinions. Finally, we decided to do that experiment, and we have lifted the landed item on 3rd of September again, 80 meters above, and moved 40 meters. We have landed back. Thereby, the original target, original objective we climbed is achieved with 50% of the budget what is allocated, because we have done 2 objectives met in this mission. And the scientific discovery, there were 8 payloads, all the 8 payloads are perfect. One is we want to understand what is the plasma center, and we have discovered 5 million to 30 million meter cube million is the electron content in 1 meter cube volume, and the temperature profile, we had a beautiful instrument with the temperature measurement. It was pierced inside the surface of the moon, and we have found the temperature variation 60 degrees on the surface in 10 centimeter depth, minus 10 degrees centigrade, and we have found, we wanted to understand the seismic activities. There are places, there are seismic activity, there are 6 beautiful vibration sensors were used, and you can see some places seismic activities there, and minerals, 8 minerals we have discovered, and there is a spectroscopy experiment from the orbiter to take the photograph, the reflection of the sunlight on the earth, which will be used in future. Thereby, all these experimental data are donated to the scientific community of the world. Thereby, India's stature has been made much higher by India and Indians. And dear friends, for this mission, at least